How much of your attention should you be giving a woman you're interested in? And does ignoring a woman make her want you more, or does it make her forget about you? In this video, we're going to delve into the secret psychology of ignoring a woman and how to ensure you're doing it right. Because a lot of people think that you need to just completely ignore a woman to make this strategy work, and that's not exactly what you want to do, and that can backfire. So, I also want to say, wherever you're at, how much ever you screwed up, it is reversible. It is reversible in most cases. So if you've been acting needy, if you've been giving too much attention, or you've exhibited any of these other like nice guy qualities, you can reverse it, but you got to follow a specific set of steps. I get questions all the time from clients, and just recently I was working with someone, and he was concerned that the woman might forget him if he attempted this strategy. And I asked him why he thought this, and he felt like it was a case of out of sight, out of mind. She's going to forget that you're interested, and let me tell you something, she's not going to forget you're interested. She may even take it as a breath of fresh air to get a break from your advances. And that's actually a good thing. That's going to allow you to reverse the dynamic a little bit. And you got to remember, by pursuing, persistently, it prevents a woman from leveraging a powerful psychological principle in her own mind that lets them become more interested, lets them chase you. And the fear of leaving a woman alone often leads men to ruin a woman's interest, as happened in my client's case. One common scenario is when a man gets nervous about not responding to her text right away or canceling plans. They think that they're going to blow it or they're going to miss their opportunity. And again, the majority of men fall into this trap. You have to resist it. Like I said before, you fear she'll lose interest or forget about him. And to illustrate this, I always ask my clients, when a woman doesn't text you back right away, do you want her more or less? Well, the answer is you want her more, typically, and the same is for her. It's no different from their side of the football. The answer is always the same. They want her more. It highlights a fundamental aspect of human psychology. For both men and women, we desire things that are uncertain and slightly unavailable, and it's difficult for most guys to make that uncertainty a reality. So a lot of guys have to force themselves to do this. I'd say almost all need to practice this. And for instance, instead of replying to her text immediately, you could just wait a little bit. This is just very basic baseline strategy. It's not rude or disrespectful to just not respond right away. You could be busy. Girls do this all the time with guys they are on the fence about. And ignoring her doesn't mean cutting off all contact in an unusual way for days or weeks. You can, and that's perfectly fine. If there's a reason in your life that would necessitate that, or for whatever reason you feel it's necessary. But you don't have to do that. You just need to do a pattern interrupt. When you see a woman from your social circle, a family friend, a female friend, or a coworker you're interested in, do you always say hi? Do you give her the most attention of anyone at work? And that idea of the currency of attention is kind of what we're talking about here. Are you going out of your way to interact with her in a way that makes it too obvious of what your intention is? And so you need to pay attention to how much you're giving her, how much attention you're giving her. And you need to get comfortable with the idea of ignoring her and just focusing on your work instead of always interacting with her at the drop of a hat. Ignoring a woman can involve several behaviors, like we talked about, not checking in constantly, or seeking out reassurance from her where you stand, and when you look at it from her perspective, when you're texting just to say hi, it's basically saying, hey, I'm still here, I'm still interested. And remember at the beginning, she knows you're interested. You've made that clear on some level. Um, Now, when you're interacting with a new woman, you'll have a clean slate, um, and can deploy some of these tactics from the beginning, and you'll see the difference in the power dynamic that you can create. But for the moment, we're assuming we're dealing with a specific woman that you're trying to change the power dynamic with. Um, and it's also just as though you can sense neediness in different situations, women can do this as well, and it kills the attraction level for them. So you just need to resist that need to check in. So, like we talked about before, instead of always being available, you need to let her wonder a little bit what you're doing and become less available just to create some artificial value on yourself. If you text a woman in the morning and she doesn't respond until later, a lot of guys will spend the entire day wondering what she's doing or who she's with. And that's no different than from her side. You want to be the guy that she's wondering what he's doing, who he's with, what he's thinking about. And it's going to be an incremental process to get there. But these are the initial steps you want to take. Um, and if you're excited to hang out and she cancels at the last minute, that's going to disrupt your pattern. And you might want to consider, depending on the dynamic of the specific girl you're interacting with, or just with a girl in the future, of doing something similar to break the pattern of interaction. Um, and the reason for that is women often equate longing with love. This means that when she misses you or wonders when you'll text back, it creates a sense of longing. And by always being available repetitively, answering texts, you're killing that entire opportunity you have to create a desire, a longing in her. And you can think about lots of examples in television, romance, and a show that's popular with women in their 30s or 40s. It'd be Sex and the City. They're always trying to seek out the main character's attention. So you want to position yourself as that person that they're seeking attention from. And one way to do that is to create longing, and the only way to do that is to create strategic separation. And the other layer to this is that women enjoy a mental challenge. So, and men too, to some extent. But even more so in women, they like to analyze every aspect of your behavior, wonder if you like them, how much you like them. These are the things that they discuss with their friends. So you want to give them that opportunity to do that. And that mental challenge keeps their interest alive. So if it's not there, you need to spark it and reverse engineer it incrementally. And it's very similar to gambling. If you think about the unpredictability and the dopamine rush of winning or losing, that's the same dynamic that's taking place in a woman's mind when she's trying to balance out whether you're giving her attention or not giving her attention, why you didn't respond to a morning text, etc. And you want this to work on this. Initially, it's going to be a little clunky if you haven't done this kind of thing before. It may come off as a little artificial. That's why it's important to make plans, live your own life, focus on yourself so that you have a full schedule, and that when there is the text, you don't have to sit there and agonize over it because you were at the gym, you were working on your business, you were reading, you were with friends, and then you can answer a text. And the other aspect is the hot and cold behavior, and this can come naturally to a lot of guys, and a lot of other guys have to work on it, and it's definitely a learnable skill. And it's something women do intuitively and deliberately, but just alternating between attention and being distant can create that kind of addiction. If you ever talk to a girl that's really excited about a particular guy, she normally has this kind of addictive experience. And that's what you're trying to replicate, and that's what you can replicate using some of these techniques. Like I just mentioned, men who prioritize their careers, their fitness, and friendships are just naturally going to be improving themselves, making themselves more attractive. And as a byproduct of that, they're going to occasionally ignore a text and genuinely be busy, and that's going to be an authentic way to get to that point. For example, if a woman wants to see you on a Tuesday, but you have a run planned, someone that's independent is going to say, oh, I have something planned, let's schedule another time, and that's going to be really authentic and believable, rather than some guy who's taking it from a framework of revenge or otherwise getting back at someone for canceling plans. It's not going to be authentic or attractive. So that's why it's important to have a full schedule outside of the woman you're pursuing. And then just tying it all together, one of the most attractive qualities you can have is autonomy and full independence, so that you aren't, remember, she doesn't want to be the focus of your attention. She wants to focus all her attention on you and attain you as the reward, not the opposite. A good response is just, how about later this evening? It shows that you have priorities and that she's not at the top of your list. And you can't be afraid of her losing interest because of that, because she won't. If she loses interest, it's not going to be because of that. If anything, it's going to incrementally increase it. So the psychology of ignoring a woman involves creating that balance where she experiences a longing, a mental challenge, and the value of your attention. And by not always being available and having your own priorities, you can make her more interested in you. So those are some strategies you can use. If you want more detailed, more advanced techniques, check out the link in my description, and I'll talk to you next time.